Chapter 1, Mishnah 1. In order to be valid, a mincha must be offered using the proper procedures. However, it is not only the Kohen's actions that matter, but also the intentions he has while offering the mincha. As with an animal korban, there are certain improper intentions that can make a mincha invalid. This chapter deals with one of these invalidating intentions, offering a mincha with the intention that it should serve as a different kind of mincha. The first mincha teaches how different kinds of menachos are affected by being offered for the sake of another kind of mincha. All menachos whose kamitza was done not for their own sake but for the sake of a different type of mincha remain valid, and their offering is completed, except that they do not count for the owner toward fulfilling his obligation, and he must therefore bring another one. The exception to this rule is the sinner's mincha and the mincha of a sota, which are completely invalidated by being offered for the sake of a different type of mincha. The Mishnah lists different combinations of proper and improper intentions that invalidate these two types of menachos. If he made the kamitza on a sinner's mincha or a sota's mincha not for its own sake but for the sake of a different type of mincha, or he placed the kometz in a kli sheres, or brought the kometz to the mizbeach, or burnt it on the mizbeach not for its own sake but for the sake of a different mincha, or he did one of these avodos both for its own sake, for the sake of a sinner's mincha or a sota's mincha, as well as not for its own sake, but for the sake of a different type of mincha. Or he did the reverse. He did one of these avodos with the intention that it should not be for its own sake, and also for its own sake. In all of these cases, the sinner's mincha and sota's mincha, are completely invalid because one of their four key avodos was done, either fully or partially, for the sake of a different mincha. The Mishnah gives examples of the last two laws. What is an example of an avodah done for both its own sake and not for its own sake, but for the sake of a different mincha? He did the avodah both for the sake of a sinner's mincha and for the sake of a voluntary donated mincha. Or what is an example of an avodah done not for its own sake and also for its own sake? He did the avodah both for the sake of a voluntary donated mincha and for the sake of a sinner's mincha.